In this video, we're going to start creating the enemy. So I'm just going to switch over to my 2D view. We have a completely blank scene here, so let's start by adding a new one. Now, the first node in our new scene is going to be an area 2D. So let's click on the plus button, and I've got an empty one here. So if you haven't got an empty one, you do need to click on where it says scene and then new scene, okay? So we're going to go plus, and then we want an area 2D, so start typing area. And it's a 2D, so don't go for this one, it's this one here. And then press create. I'm just going to give this a name called enemy. Now I have used an uppercase, this will be relevant when we start scripting this, so just be aware of that. I'm going to save this scene straight away, just so it's kind of in the folders, ready to go. So scene, save scene, make sure it's called enemy, make sure it goes into the correct folder, and then press save. Now the next node we're going to want is the sprite. However, I'm going to animate this sprite just to make it a bit more interesting. So we're going to use an animated sprite. So I'm going to click again on the plus button, and I'm going to start typing animate. Okay, and there it is there, so animated sprite. So if I just double click on this, and it will add it to our list. Now the next thing we need to do is click back onto where it says enemy, and we're going to add another node. So the node we're going to add this time is a collision shape 2D. So click on where it says enemy and then click the plus button and start typing collision. And there it is right there. So it's collision shape 2D. And then once again press the create button. So you should see this kind of signal here. So you've got a straight line followed by two jagged lines. If you see something that looks like this, where it kind of ducks in, that's not right. That will actually break, okay? So in order to fix this, all you do is you click on this, you click it back to the enemy until the square box goes around it, and then you drop, and then you have this. So we're going to do a few things here. Firstly, we're going to load up some images for our animated sprite. So we need to put them in here first. So let's go to our images folder, right click and say new folder. I'm just going to call this enemies. Now in the deluxe Kenny pack there's loads of enemies, and I've just downloaded one specific one. I've included these in the Google Classroom, so if you don't want to use any others, you can use this. If you want to use the ones from the Kenny pack, that's absolutely fine. So this is called Fly Dead, and then 1 and 2, and it's basically just him flapping his arms. Actual fact, I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to try and keep this as simple as possible. I'm just going to use fly 1 and fly 2. So just grab these two and then drag them onto where it says enemies, let it go, make sure they've gone into the folder, and we're done there. So let's go back to the animated sprite, and where it says empties, we're going to start up a new animation. So we're going to say new sprite frame, and then we're just going to click on where it says sprite. We're going to change this to flying, and then from here we're just going to drag in flying 1 and flying 2. Okay, flying 1, flying 2. We're going to make sure it's on loop. We will have to look at the speed, so let's just turn it on and see what the speed is. So we're just going to turn on playing, and you can see, I mean, that's okay. You could make that a bit faster or a bit slower, but actual fact, I don't mind that. Now that's pretty much it. So our player has been created, it's been animated, and we're okay with that. So the next thing we want to do, and if you want to turn this off, you can. However, we will need it playing, so I'm just going to leave it on. So I'm going to go to where it says collision shape 2D, and we're going to add our collision around this object. So where it says empty, so I've just clicked on collision shape 2D, where it says empty, we're going to click on this drop down, and we're going to choose the circle. Now for the circle, I'm just going to try and make it slightly bigger than the body, and this is if the player hits the wings, then he's going to die. We don't want to make it too big, otherwise it might look just slightly unnatural, but it is going to be slightly bigger than the head here. So if he hits the wings, it'll he'll be dead, or he'll lose a life. Okay, so that's our player. Let's just save that. Now we're going to do two more things. We're going to add it to a scene, and we're also going to add the script. So before we move any further, let's just add an empty script. So we're going to click on where it says enemy. I'm going to press the script button. I'm going to make sure it goes into my scripts folder. So press this folder icon here, go to scripts, make sure the script is called enemy.gd and then press open. And then once you're okay with that, you can just press create. So our script is ready to go. Once again, let's just save it just to make sure everything's good. And we can go back to the 2D scene. Now, just to see if this all works, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the level 1. So I'm just going to double click on where it says level 1, and we have that here. And we're just going to place an enemy somewhere. So I'm going to place an enemy about here. So from where it says level 1, I'm just going to come up to this link button. I'm going to go to where it says enemy.tscn, click it, and then press open. Now this will place itself over here. Now at the moment, it won't do anything. So you'll collide with it, but it won't do anything. It won't kill you or anything. Now remember, if you want to add more than one enemy, you can just press Control D, and then you can just move it into a new place. So if you want to have a couple here, for instance, like that, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to have one about here, so if he jumps up, he hits that one. But you can place as many of these as you want, and don't forget you can also have lots of different enemies as well. So that's that video. Get your enemies placed into your level 1, your level 2, and your level 3, and then I'll see you in the next video.